Hmm. I'm going to actually, okay, now I'm here. All right, sorry for the delay. All right, here we go. All right, so again, 2,700 employees, and we filtered down to 148. I'm going to cut to the chase of the person we were looking at, obviously because I know who it is. Okay, I apologize. I'm having a hard time finding it. Stores. All right. The one thing I can mention in regards to how delete befores work at Caribou, we were curious of what items seem to be deleted the most and why. And I think in a coffee house, it's very apparent very quickly, and that is it's our coffee, our cups of coffee, not the specialty drinks. And the main reason is for us, every mixed drink has to actually go to the bar screen so a second person monitors it. So we found out that for a coffee, they don't have to send it to the bar because the barista, as we call it, doesn't make the coffee. The server or the cashier actually gets the coffee for the guest. That's usually the #1 item that's deleted. Other items, though, would include food items, merchandise items, or beans. So they also don't go to the barista screen. So it's kind of like that check and balance system. Unfortunately, though, we did discover that other people can work together, and people were actually working in cahoots with each other. So, all right, Kimberly, I don't know why this is showing only one day. I'm going to do something here real quick. The employee that I'm looking at, what I want to show you is some of the transactions that will become very apparent of how she was doing it, stuck out very quickly. So if you look at this store in roughly a 4-week period, Kimberly has 912 deletes out of 2,300. When you compare that to even the person next to her, Jacob rang in 300 deletes. He actually rang in over 3,500 items. There seems to be a disconnect, and you can see some of the other employees rang in more with less deletes, which to us led us to believe that Kimberly was doing something she shouldn't be doing. And then when I pull up her actual transactions, you'll get a very quick snapshot of what I call the check amount numbers. When you look at all these blank numbers, these are the zero totals. This was telling me that the customer would come in, order a drink. Before she hit cash payment, she wouldn't hesitate in deleting it or just handle the guest without opening up the till or accepting payment. And unfortunately, this person is a shift supervisor, so she had access to open the drawer with a key. She didn't need to push take payment. And as you can tell, here's a great example. The cooler, the vanilla cooler, the amount was 0. The delete 354 or 345, no amount. We were able to interview Kimberly, and she eventually admitted that yes, she was using the delete before activity to steal money. And as you can see by all these zero totals, that was a lot in a short amount of time. So that is our first case that we learned very quickly on how employees were manipulating the system. As a side note with that, once we learned more about that zero total concept, we had actually asked iControl if they would build us a report that showed us only zero total checks, but we also had to say we only want to see a zero total check when there's a delete activity in it, not a discount, not another reason why it would be zeroed out to a zero total. So that also sped up the process. When I start looking at some of the other reports that we used and started thinking about how employees would manipulate the system, one of the key ones we started using was the menu item sales analysis. And for us, that's to monitor everything that's running into the system by a SKU number. And once we started understanding what that was, we were able to isolate again when employees were maybe abusing this manager comp, or beverage comp as we call it. And for Caribou, that is a beverage comp is when a service failure occurs. Customer orders a large latte, we make it, they say, I don't like it, it doesn't taste good, oh, let me make you a new one. So we'd ring it up as a comp to give them a new one, but that would help us account from an inventory standpoint. We discovered very quickly that, again, same scenario was happening, that employees were not hesitating in using this program to take advantage of us and to take money. And I'll give you an example of what one looked like very easily as we filter through this. And what we learned is any opportunity that the employee can use to hide loss, hide theft, that's what they would seek out. So let's see, I'm going to cut to a store in Michigan that we found somebody was actually using this a little more consistent. So the way I would look at this is, in a week's period, all of our stores, which only 29 at the time, had 210 drinks. Well, my question is, why does this store, Mack Avenue, store 506, have 46? That is a way above the norm. Our company standard, if you do the 210 divided by 29, would have been on average 7 free drinks. And this store obviously was very aggressive. Once I did it by server, we were able to discover one specific employee accounted for a big number. Now, granted, we have 2 people that were at 9, but once they started digging into Mary Beth a little more, and I would expand out the search to a month, we found out Mary Beth was giving away a lot of drinks. What we did was we sat down with the store manager and asked, tell us her behavior, tell us what's going on, what do you know about her, what's her history, do a lot of friends come in and all that. Basically, we learned that a couple things were happening. A lot of friends were coming in, and that's how she would hook them up. So it didn't look like she was passing anything. She was ringing them up, but she discounted it free, which was against our policy. But she was also using this to steal cash. Same thing. Customer comes in, orders a drink, lays down $2 on the counter. She turns it into a discounted drink. That $2 would either go in her pocket or go in the tip jar. So we're able to isolate that activity, and now we track that. And if any store is above or beyond a norm, and the norm is a very low number, no need for us, hopefully, to have that many service failures. It really sticks out like a sore thumb on what's going on. So this might be similar to a full-service restaurant, and I hope I can cover some of that. I think it's covers versus drinks that you would compare things like that. And then some of this from a delete before activity, I would say definitely would fit in the bar area. So another thing that I want to show you is we discovered that people would do what I would call underringing. And that would be, let's say that you come in and order a drink, doesn't matter what it is, but I, as an employee, want to take advantage of the situation. I might only ring up an item for 50 cents, and then I can pocket the difference. The underringing would occur. And we have, in the coffee industry especially, any single item that is 50 cents or less seems to be what's used the most. And I say that because in some avenues, it's like the free refill, 50 cents. I think Starbucks charges that. That's the number that they track to say, if I have an employee that's abusing the system and